You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised the perks you accrue, even in that couple years that you're talking about. You'd be surprised the extra advantages that you'll accrue for yourself. So if you just did that, bro, you're going to do... Nick S. Nick says, hey, Derek, university classes on micro and macro versus your course content are a joke. Thanks for the sick advice. My question, I'm working in a recruitment agency for SAP, and I've been with this company for only 1 year, but already considered one of the best employees. My boss loves me since I'm such a valuable resource for the company. Resource, I think you mean. In the next 2 years, we want to double our number of employees. What can I further do to make sure that I will be the first one to get his own team? How should I show that I'm a good leader? Thanks for the amazing course and best wishes from Germany. You got to be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do. When other people want to, look, there's two types of people on my construction site, okay? There's people that I pay directly, and there's people that I pay indirectly, meaning that they're the employee of a subcontractor. The people I pay directly, they know they better fucking be there on time to the minute. They know they better keep fucking working until the last fucking minute of the workday that's scheduled. And then they can clean up and fucking get ready to go home. The people that, separate group, the people that my subcontractors pay. I might pay a subcontractor to get an outcome. And a guy's cleaning up yesterday. He's leaving 72 minutes before what I think is the end of the workday. And anybody that I pay directly, they know that's the end of the workday. This guy's leaving 72 minutes early. And I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, why don't you finish this, finish that, take care of this thing? He's like, oh, it's almost time. I go home a little early. And I mean, I don't pay this guy directly, but I do call his employer and tell him, hey, like, you're paying this guy, I'm paying you, and you're paying this guy, and the guy's not showing up to do everything he can do today. He's showing up to work, 70% of the day. He's going to make a 70% effort. You take little breaks here and there too. So, he's going to work 80-something% of the day instead of 100%. He's like, you pay him for 100% of the day? Because I wouldn't. I'd just get rid of him. But, the thing is, that guy thinks he's getting away with something. This is the note. Take this note and burn it in your fucking brain for the rest of your life. He thinks he's getting away with something. He thinks he's getting 72 minutes back to go do whatever. He's just fucking his future. He's just fucking himself. The person that does that, they wanted to do 70%, 80% of what they could have done today. It didn't hurt me much. I mean, I'm gonna get credited the money back from his employer. He's not there for the whole day. Why am I paying for this? It's extending my project. I'm just telling his employer, hey, those performance bonuses we talked about when we wrote a contract? Those performance bonuses? Yeah, you're not going to get that because your guys aren't getting the fucking job done. They're taking off early instead of staying until the last minute and doing everything they could. So it's not costing me money. In some ways, he's doing me a favor. But he's fucking himself. Because how's that guy get a raise? How's he get a promotion? How's he get a fat ass bonus check for himself? How would that ever happen? Who's going to hire him that he's going to show up and who's going to hire him and pay him more? How would that happen? So he thinks he's leaving 72 minutes early, and he thinks he's smart and getting away with something. Reality is just making sure that he stays trapped in the same place. I guarantee 5 years later, if he doesn't get fired, 5 years later, he'll still be doing the same thing. He'll still be doing manual labor, not using his brain so much, not doing the best thing, just the same thing. So if you want to make sure that you're leading teams, if you want to make sure you're in charge of important projects, get there early, stay late, take on projects nobody else wants to because they're hard. They're hard and scary. Make sure that you're well qualified to take on a hard or scary project, or you're just going to fuck it up and look stupid. But if you are well qualified to take on a hard and scary project and you do it well, that's how you stand out. So get there early, stay late. Ask your employer. Stop saying the word boss. You should have learned that weeks ago. Ask your employer, what's the number one and number two thing you'd like me doing this week? What's the most important thing I could do to contribute this week? Okay, when I max that out, what else could I do that'd be very important to contribute this week? How could I contribute to the vision? How could I contribute to what we're doing here? All right? Ask your employer. Start learning the job of the manager 1 and 2 levels above you. Not just 1 level above you. Start learning the job of the person 1 level and 2 levels above you. Start learning their job, and help them get promotions. Help them advance their career. And, when they get a promotion, somebody's going to ask them, hey, who do you think's most qualified to take your spot? And that's going to be you. And that's going to be you. You're the person that's going to take that spot. And nobody does this stuff. The beauty of it is like, it sounds brilliant for me to say this, not because it's actually brilliant. It should be fucking common sense for most people, but common sense is very uncommon. But then additionally, nobody else will do it. Nobody else will do it. Everybody else is a lazy fuck. So if you just did that, bro, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised the perks you accrue, even in that couple years that you're talking about. You'd be surprised the extra advantages that you'll accrue for yourself. Just as I looked at my phone, I got a message from a fella, and I don't want to say his name. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a very smart person. He's a person that I like a lot, a person that I respect a lot. And he said, I just wanted to let you know. He called me. Actually, he texted me, asking me about a negotiation, asking me about a financial negotiation. And I gave him 5 minutes. 6 minutes. We had a 5-minute, 6-minute phone call, and I said, this, say this. If this happens, do that. If that happens, do this. He just wrote me back. He said, I just want to let you know that they agreed to exactly what I asked for. And then he specifies the number. He said, used your exact words, and it worked like magic. Can't thank you enough. Just wanted to let you know that they agreed to exactly what I asked for. Used your exact words, and it worked like magic. I can't thank you enough. And shout out to you if you're here listening, which I think you might be. That's fantastic, and thank you for sharing that note with me. I really appreciate that. That's a difference of tens of thousands of dollars versus the offer that was made to this individual versus the outcome that he has is it's tens of thousands of dollars a year. And more than that, it's an anchor at his age. It's an anchor in salary that once he's established that extra anchor for those other tens of thousands of dollars that he might not have gotten, and I say respectfully, probably would not have gotten had we not had that brief conversation. Well, is his next fucking job going to be less money or more money? If he continues to have a career as an employee somewhere and contribute to a bigger organization, is his next income going to be bigger or less? And when he gets a 5% raise, 8% raise someday, it's based on a bigger number now. It's based on a bigger salary. So he's going to get even more. So that's not an insignificant thing. That's tens of thousands of dollars in the next year, plus the percentage multiplier on that over time and the compounding of that. And, he's going to use X dollars for consumer, for consumption. Now he's got more money to save, more money to invest, more money to reinvest, more money in raises coming in the future. So shout out to you, homie. Good job and respect. Last one here from Gerard. Gerard says, hey, Derek, I want to thank you again for such an amazing course. As you know, I was on the first running of Moneyberg Mentoring and have been applying what I learned in the course. I recently followed your advice on my salary negotiation for a new job, and I now take home 150% more than I was earning. Let me say that again. He said, I recently followed your advice on a salary negotiation for a new job and will take home 150% more than I was earning. It negotiated 25% more than their initial offer. I wouldn't have achieved this result without your guidance. Thank you so much. You're helping change my life. There you have it. So, look, people that take action, people that can listen closely, interpret a few things for themselves, think independently, you're going to have great outcomes. If you do what every other schmuck does, you're going to have average outcomes, mediocre at best, maybe shit. 50% of people are below average. You follow shit advice, you have a shit outcome. You do what everybody else does, you have an average outcome at best. Thanks for watching. Success is not for everybody, and it may not be for you. But if you're a current or future champion, if you have what it takes to win, and you are dedicated to a life of more winning, more success, a life of abundance with other people that have shared values to learn more and earn more, if that's you, you're going to want to follow this channel. You're going to want to watch my video releases every Monday and every Friday. I look forward to working with you in the future. I'll see you back here soon.